Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Love Code on YouTube. I want to thank you for always watching my videos. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe. In the last couple of weeks, I believe, we've had quite a lot more people subscribe in the last 2-3 weeks than we've had in a while. So I believe something's going right. So thank you for that, and I do appreciate it. And yep, so this week I had the privilege of having a meeting on Zoom for young couples, like people who got married in the last 6 or so years, for a church, and it was quite an interesting time. Although I was talking about money on that during that event, but I had a presentation. A part of the presentation was about the top 3 reasons for divorce. So after the conference, I just looked at my notes again and the slides that I use, and I just thought to myself, you know what, I might as well just talk about this, on the program here for you guys. So we're going to talk about the top 3 reasons for divorce, and I got this primarily from just research, online research. So many different websites have different, stats, but comparing all those different stats, there are 3 major things that have been identified as the top 3 reasons for divorce. So that's what we want to talk about today. All right, so thank you guys once again, and if you're new, like I said, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And this is Love Code, and what we do here is we just talk about love, relationship, marriages, sex, everything like that. We don't hold anything back. We talk about every single topic that there is to talk about, and I get questions from people, and I try to address those questions. And sometimes I come up with topics myself. Okay, and Love Code is the title of a book that my wife and I wrote 2 years ago now. Love Code, Complete Checklist for Covenant Relationships. And this book is actually still available for free. What we did with the book was that we had a big event to kind of announce the book, and we got people to donate. And for every hardcover edition of the book that people bought, we set aside a regular paperback edition of the book to give away, and we've given out quite a lot of those books. We still have a few of them left that we've been giving out. So if you go to insightsforbelievers.org, you can actually order it for free if you are in Canada, and we will ship it to you. So I just wanted you to know that. That's my gift to you for being a subscriber today. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that you know every time I have a new video. I do this every single week. I have a new video out on a different topic. So today we're talking about the top 3 reasons for divorce. And in your mind, I want you to just guess. Try to think about it. What could be the top 3 reasons why people divorce? And there are so many reasons. There are some from the lousy to the flimsy. There are so many funny reasons why people divorce. I mean, I was looking at a list of silliest reasons for divorce some time back. Maybe that's another video I should do. And people divorce for so many things. Like someone divorced a husband because he voted for Trump. Somebody divorced because of remote control. So many things. Someone divorced because sex was too much. There's so many interesting reasons why people divorce, but there are majorly 3 major reasons that are the top 3. That's what we want to talk about today. So if you've guessed it in your mind, let's look at it. I'm sure you're probably right, and you may be wrong as well. So the number 1 reason why people divorce is something called incompatibility. Incompatibility, and this is the way they define it. When people say we have irreconcilable differences, yeah, so that's what incompatibility to them is. That people are not compatible, that they have differences that cannot be resolved, and some of that is unmet expectations, which is that when people go into marriage, like it or not, we all have expectations at the back of our minds. We have certain things that we expect, what we think it should be, how we expect it to go, what we feel like this should look like. And then when people get into marriage and those expectations are not met, or it no longer looks like what they thought it was going to be, they start to look for an exit strategy, out of the marriage, and there are so many shows that you watch and you see those things play out, all these reality shows of dating and stuff, where people maybe the person is in another part of the world, and the person is presenting a certain type of lifestyle to the other partner who is in another part of the world, and making it look like he has everything all together and he's rich and all of that. And then when the girl finally shows up and they get married, the girl begins to see the true picture, that dude is actually in debt, and it becomes very, very, very interesting. So that's the major reason. The most some websites rank this differently, but I'm saying this is the tabulation of everything that I've seen, and putting it all together and coming up with the top 3, this is what you would find. The number 1 reason is incompatibility. And that's why we always stress that, when you want to get married to somebody, the aspect of connection is very, very important. There has to be connection. You guys have to connect on several levels. I'm talking about shows too. There's this show that's organized by a pastor that I know of. It's quite controversial. Some people have their opinions about it. Why should you do a show like that? I don't want to advertise for anybody, but some of you know the show that I'm talking about, and it's just primarily people meet for the first time and get married. And what they do, the way that they do it is that they, based on their it's a psychological evaluation thing that they do, and they just match people together based on their common interests and all of those things. So sometimes it works, but most of the time it doesn't work, So, but then what they use, the point I'm trying to draw out of that is that what they use mostly is the point where people connect, common interests. And when you see these people have conversations, you can tell that they actually did that, because you can see that there's a lot of common threads, that flows into the lives of the two people. So that's very important. There has to be those common interests have to be there. You have to be, thinking, at least most of the things in your life have to align. Right? You don't have to all agree on all the things together. You don't have to agree on everything, but a few things that are most important you have to be heading in the same direction. All right? So that's very, very important, and that's why incompatibility is the number 1 reason. And part of incompatibility is because some people don't want to give up their lifestyles when they get married. People want to get married almost like to tick that off, and still maintain their lifestyle on the side and still keep this partner in one box. But that's not what a Christian marriage is all about. It doesn't work. For a Christian marriage, you have to live and cleave. So you need to bear that in mind. So incompatibility is number 1, and number 2 is infidelity. Infidelity is the second reason why people seek divorce. The most common reason, number 2, is infidelity. And what is infidelity? Of course, infidelity is cheating and affairs. Basically, most marriages, the second reason why most marriages end is because of affairs, because of cheating, and one partner, sleeping with someone that they're not married to, and the other partner getting to find out. Right? So, and this plays out in so many different ways, but it's all the same. So, why are we sharing this? Just so that you are aware, so that that these are the reasons why most marriages end. And so when they say divorce rate is this, divorce rate is that, there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it, and if you know the reason, you're better prepared. If you know the reasons why these things happen the most, then you're better prepared going into it. Right? You understand that, and when you find yourself on such path, then you can take redress and know that, okay, I'm heading in the wrong direction with this thing, because this is one of the reasons why people divorce the most. So you need to be wary of that. So that's number 2 reason, is infidelity. People cheat on their partners, and the partner finds out. There are so many ways to handle infidelity. It's not divorce is not the ultimate route, and I've done quite a couple of videos on this subject before, right, where we're talking about what grounds is it okay for you to actually divorce someone. The Bible actually gives us an excuse to go out of our marriages, and we trashed it, and we talked about it, that partners have cheated. All of us have one way or the other been unfaithful to our partners, because the Bible says that if you look at a woman lustfully, you have committed adultery with her in your heart. So if you can look at me straight in the eye and tell me that you have never looked at another woman or another man, and a small part of you desired the person, then you should add lying to your list of sins. Okay, so all of us have missed it one way or the other. All of us have gotten it wrong. So that's not the ultimate reason why, and I understand that. I'm not trying to minimize that. There are some issues that are bigger than just that. Some issues are really, really big. But the minute you know that infidelity is the number 2 biggest reason why people divorce, you stay away from it. That's why we're talking about it. You stay away from that, and you check yourself. When you find yourself slipping into that, especially with emotional infidelity, where you feel like it's not harmful, right? It's harmless. I'm not sleeping with the person. It's just texting. We're just chatting. Those things lead in a particular direction. So you want to stay away from it completely. And if you found yourself on that path, you can still redress. You can still pull out of that. Right? We've all been there, where you start a conversation that looks harmless, and before you know it, things are going the wrong way. You need to check yourself and pull yourself out of that, for the sake of your partner, for the sake of your marriage, and keep yourself in check all the time. Keep yourself in focus, and look ahead straight to where you're headed, right? Because those things are distractions at the end of the day. They are distractions. When people say that they are married to someone and then they fell in love with another person, the moment you fall in love outside of your marriage, you know that you are wrong. You are on the wrong path already. So there's nothing like you fell in love after you got married, right? For Christians, you get married, you leave your father and mother, you are joined to your partner, and you guys have to head in the same direction and try to make the marriage work, because marriage is not a game for us as Christians. It's not a game. It's much more than that. So that's very important. All right, so let's move on. Number 3, because of time, is money. That's the number 3 reason why people seek for divorce the most is money, is the issue of money. And I know this doesn't come as a surprise. You must have known that money was going to be somewhere there. And in fact, like I said, the conference that we did, it was money that we were talking about. It was typically about marriage and finance, right? That's what it was about. So money is the number 3 reason why people divorce the most, and it's because people have differences when it comes to money. People have arguments about money. Most of the time when couples talk about money, it's an argument they're having. So it's very difficult for couples to, if you are in the few couples, you are in the small percentage of couples that can actually have a conversation about money without it, turning into a fight or argument, and you having negative emotions in your heart as you are discussing it, then you are in a good place. So you need to cultivate that and keep that going, because when most people talk about money, they are having an argument, they are fighting over it, and the minute they start to talk about money, if they don't get the kind of response that they want from their partner, it spirals into this whole thing, and people just blow up and they start to fight, right? So money is the number 3 reason why most people seek divorce. And if you look into every one of the other 2, incompatibility and infidelity, you will still find money somewhere there. You still find traces of money there. It's either they are incompatible financially. One person is a spender, one person is a saver. One person always likes to just spend money. The other person wants to just keep the money and say, can't you just leave the money in the bank account? Is it disturbing you? Leave the money there. But the other person just wants to spend the money. Say, what are we going to do with it? And people have this mentality. We can die tomorrow. Who's going to use the money? So people just want to spend it. So those differences have a way of playing out. And when they are not checked, when they are not spoken of, and they are not, addressed, it leads into that thing where people just decide, what, this is too much for me. I can't do this anymore. And divorce is not something that just happens overnight. It builds up, And another issue is debt. When people have a lot of debt on their shoulders, when they've dipped their hands into too many things, and they have too much, they're not living within their means. They are living, way above their means. They are living a social media lifestyle where they want to, keep up with the Joneses and, let everybody know what's going on with my life. Always have the latest, greatest of everything. Those things have a way of backfiring, and into your marriage. It leads to a lot of stress, a lot of tension, breakdown of trust, and then that leads to divorce. So it's a gradual process. It's something that happens gradually, and we need to be very, very mindful of it. So we've spoken about incompatibility, we've talked about infidelity, and the last one is money. So you want to talk about your financial differences with your partner. That's why we're talking about these top 3 reasons. It's not to encourage you to divorce. It's so that you know what is the danger zone, the things that most people are falling victim of, so that you prevent that in your own marriage. So these are the top 3 reasons why people seek divorce the most. So this could be for you, it could be a point of checking into your own marriage to say, what is there any of these 3 things that is already proving to be a difficult point for us? Then you need to address that. You need to prayerfully begin to address those areas, and so that it doesn't blow up into something else. And if money is a challenge for you guys, you always have arguments about money. This is something you need to begin to address. Have a conversation with your spouse about it. Sometimes it's not just to sit down and talk, but sometimes gradually, just talking about things gradually, and looking and seek help if you need to. There's nothing shameful about that. It's better to seek help while it's still possible to salvage something, than to wait for things to blow out completely and then you now try to start to fix that. All right. So I'll stop there for today. Thank you so much for watching the video. Please like the video if you do. Subscribe to the channel and make sure you turn on your notifications so that you know when I have a new video out. I usually have new videos out at 6 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time on Sundays. I have a new video out every week. All right, and just in case you don't know still, my wife and I are planting a local church here in the city of Halifax, Nova Scotia. It's called Believer's House. I know a lot of you know about it right now already, but every week we get new subscribers, like I said. So I just wanted you to know that that's a thing. You can check us out at Believer's House H on most social media platforms. Our website is believershouse.church, and we will be glad to connect with you. All right, guys, thank you so much once again. I will see you again next week by the grace of God. God bless you.